we will move to the next part of our podcast today, which is about the career journey. As I know that you have 28 years experience in the art direction, design, motion design. So when did you find find out that your passion is art direction?
Very, very young. I think at 14, because before that I was all the time drawing, all the time doing all artistic things. So my parents saw that. I will not talk about the whole process up to 14, but at 14, my dad has a friend was working in an advertising agency, and he said, "Oh, you're interested to work on that field, so go to pass a day with my friend at his agency to see how it works." And I went there and I saw this art director working, and I was like, wow, it's what I want to do as job. And I have worked actually at 14 for him for a couple of days after. So that gave me already an experience at 14 to how, that feel, how can feel in the studio. For me, it was like a game changer. Like I chose there, I want to do that.
So you just draw on your own. So did you attend any art classes?
Yeah, on college. Yeah, on college. But before the college, no. I was drawing by myself. But yeah, of course, on college, I had like a art class. So painting, drawing, and all type of drawing, technical or artistic, painting, same thing, sculpture. So I have those classes after. But before that, no. I was by myself all the time drawing, and even when you're at school, a key important point is to practice. I know even an art director, he stopped going to school before college. He didn't go to the college. Today, it's a very good art director because he was all the time practicing. So the practice is as much important as the school itself.
Well, 28 years is a long journey pursuing a career in art directions, and I bet there has been a lot of memorable projects. Is maybe the most challenging project or the most special project for you? So at the top of your head, what is the project that you find most challenging?
The most challenging was probably I come back to Saudi Arabia again because like things were so different there. I went there. My first project was to make 3 ads for Toyota there, and just for you to know, when I went in Montreal before to go, the budget for an advertising in 30 seconds, for example, when you had like 300,000 to make it, you were lucky. That was a big budget. I arrived in Saudi Arabia. We had 3.5 millions to create 3 30-second ad. So it was a lot of money for production. So I was like, all right, that's cool. That's a 6-month project. That's going to be very nice. But the challenge was to understand, again, I didn't know the culture enough there. So I came on presentation with like wrong thing, like I was saying, like with a woman sitting in the front, but they were like, yeah, but it's not his wife, so she has to be sitting at the back. And that was not working. So I had to find I have to do a lot of solution making there first. And after that, we went for the shooting in Dubai, in the desert, in the city, and the other one was in a parking lot. But in the desert, for example, we needed to have this big water truck, like blue tank. Most of them are Indian drivers, so you have a lot of Indian decoration around the trucks. It's beautiful. So we chose an old one because it needs to have some age for the ad. So the truck was going in the street, like surely the truck was going in the street, and the guy was dropping his phone and taking his phone, and the truck was going like this in the street. We had the chopper there to film from top, a specialist of that kind of driving. But the morning we arrived on the shoot, the guy who got chosen for his truck, he was so proud that he made a new paint. He made it paint during the night, all new. But we wanted to have an old one But he came like very proud, like, guys, you have a very, very nice truck to shoot. And we're like, no, it's not. So we're all the crew, including myself, with like pieces of wood and like rocks like on the tank, all scratching and make it back like it was. And the guy was not understanding at all what was happening there. So that was a funny part, but a bit challenging because we had a certain time to shoot the ad. The heat there was very hot in the desert, and Dubai, that was very hot. So that was challenging also for me at first. And all the different way to work there also. So it's not like in Canada. It's a new country totally. So it was challenging to know what to do, when not to do, what we were allowed to do or not. Of course, there's a production crew there, but that was challenging phase. That one is one project that is the most challenging one. Yeah.
And I remember that you also have the project that it takes you about 15 years, right? 1 kilometer.
Oh, this is my painting project.
Yeah, the painting project.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that project, it takes you about 15 years, right?
That project is not finished. That project is a lifetime project, so I might finish it when I will have... I calculate, I can imagine maybe at 90, if I continue to paint up to 90, because it's 1,000 canvas next to each other. So it's a 1,000 canvas of painting next to each other, but all paintings are connected together. So it's all pieces of 2 meter high by half a meter wide, next to each other up to almost 1 kilometer. So it's a lifetime project. It's not just 15 years. It's been 12 years maybe I work on. But I still have so many to do, and every year are different. I cannot work sometimes a year. During COVID, for example, I thought it was a time where I will have time and inspiration to work a lot on it. Finally, that was completely dead for a year because I got so many jobs during that time. I didn't find time to work on my painting, but yeah, it's more a lifetime project than a 15 years project. Yeah.
What is the motivation for you to do that lifetime project?
The motivation was because I was asking myself, okay, I do advertising, I do design. My passion first was art more than communication or whatever else. I kept that aside, but all the time painting a little. And when I restarted, when I became freelancer, first it gave me more time to manage my time, so I found times to paint more. And I was having some comments from friends, people, interested to buy, and people telling me that it's good work, you should exhibit them, you should do something. And I was worried a bit of how I will do that, because art, like real art, painting, it's another field, it's another game, I would say. If you don't have contact, if you didn't do exhibition, I didn't do much exhibition. If you don't have this, it's very difficult for you to go in galleries because they ask you to have experience on that. The same thing for grants. If you don't have experience or exhibition, you will not have grants. So I was asking a lot of questions to myself about this, how I will manage and introduce myself in that field. And the result was like, just paint. Mm-hmm. Paint, do them, and after that you will see things will happen. And so I started painting, and I was never stopping. So I started, the first reason was that it's not to not ask myself what I will do with it, just do it, like Nike's, just do it. So I do it. And I built my website after the first phase. The first phase is the first 100 pieces. I've done it in French and English, of course, because we're in Quebec, so it's both language. And my wife is Chinese. Mm-hmm. So I made it, we have Chinese friend in Montreal, so I made it in Chinese as well. And out of nowhere, a year and a half ago, a director of a corporation in China saw my things on the net. It was not a contact of friends or anybody. He just saw my things, and he was like, "Okay, I'm interested. This is our corporation. We do international exhibition in China. We will exhibit if you're interested. We will exhibit your art in these cities, and at the end we do auction of this." I was like, okay, is it true first? Is it real? Because many galleries or organization are fake. So we have to be very careful on that. They just get whatever visual, but without any real thinking and real quality. But these guys are serious. It's a great organization. So after that, already with my CV for painters, I have a really wide range CVs for my job, but as artists, I don't. I have a few things. So that will give me already like 4 gallery, 1 museum on an international organization. So I will be able to go in Montreal saying, okay, this gallery, look, I have exhibited internationally in 4 gallery and 1 museum. So I will have more chance.
So in Vietnam we have a very famous quote. Yeah, there is I will translate in Vietnam. There is cơm áo không đùa với khách thơ. It is written by a renowned poet. He is Xuân Diệu. And the meaning of this sentence is that creative jobs such as poet or artist will not be paid well. And this is also a common belief of previous generation in Vietnam. So what do you think about it?
In my point of view, from my country?
Because people often think that creative jobs, such as poets or artistic, will not be paid well. So what do you think about that?
I think that is changing slowly. I think like my father was thinking the same. My father was not happy that I want to go in art. I mean, my older brother is a scientist. My father is an accountant. So no artist. Only my grandfather was a bit artist, but all my family are not at all. And they were worried that that I will not have a good salary, that I will just be a poor artist. But I think this is changing slowly because more and more the visual jobs take over so many others because of the communication. First, we have so much more communication, visual communication today than 50 years ago. I think the mindset of the people change about this. And in the field, it's not the reality today. Actually, if you work on movies or advertising or like serious field, you get quite good paid. So it's not true anymore, unless you want to be just an artist. If I was trying to have a life just with my painting, maybe I will succeed, but I never tried because it was too dangerous. I decided to have a job that is related to art, that gives me money to be able to do my painting. So I didn't wait my painting to have a salary, because that is a long shot. It's still a dream eventually, maybe, but for the job in the different field like communication, animation, or video, the artistic part are quite well paid.
So what about the job opportunities and the actual income for young people who just started pursuing creative field after graduation?
In Montreal, it's quite a big pool of studios. So many studios open. Even this year, I think 2 big studios will open more. And those studios are always searching for people. So I would say it's quite easy for good students to find a job at the end of their studies. And even the studios, because most of the students, when they finish, they feel they're not ready to work. I think it's a reality everywhere for all students. They are not sure that they are good enough to work already. But most of the studios are aware of that. I mean, they're just out of the school, so most of them have built inside the studio kind of program to finish their formation. So usually you have a 6-month formation in the studio. Will work with. They will just learn you the tool that we will use, because every studio have their tools. Also, sometimes custom tools. So you don't know about those tools, but if you know the basics in Maya, for example, and they don't work in Maya, but you know how to do animation in Maya, it's just very technical thing to learn, they will show you. So that has a wide opening on that. So a lot of jobs in Montreal on the field for the young people, and the salary depends of the job. But I can give an example of Estelle, who finished. She found a job 3 weeks after finishing her school, and she started at $55,000 per year. So that's a good salary for someone who just start. And she got for sure a raise now, because a year later she became supervisor. So she's really serious. She's really into it. But it's just to show you how the opportunities are there. Because to be a supervisor, it's like it's a level higher. And in just 1 year, she became supervisor, and she even started teaching at school. Because we hire her because she's so much into it and she's so good that she helped our main teacher in rigging. So she comes time to time during the class of the main rigging teacher to supervise and to help students with their work at the same time as him, because you cannot be with all students all the time. So in some working class, she comes and she helps. So.
Okay, so you being an art director and also an instructor at Rubica, so which job that you find more challenging?
The teaching part, for sure, because first it's been only 4 years, so it's 28 years of art directing, but it's 4 years of teaching, so it's still new for me. But it's challenging because every individual are to be taken consideration, and it's a lot of people. And I'm coordinator also, so it's even more people. So I give class. I give After Effects class actually to the first and the second year. My main class is art direction in the third year, and I'm coordinator for the third year. So it's many people to take care of. So, I mean, a student is a student. Sometimes they reach some, and at their age, I think beginning, I mean, 21, 22, you start have your adult life. So you have problems that comes, a challenge that comes. Sometimes you need to talk to someone. Often it's me. So it has the school side and the learning side, but it has also the personal side. So it's two things really challenging to play with and to deal with the students, for them to be, to feel good and during their school, and at the same time to be able to have to make them reach a higher level all the time of what they have. The objective, nobody are at the same level. So my objective is to raise that level of every individual. It's not a class. It's like 40, like a regular class, like 20, between 20 and 25 individual. I don't see my group as a class. It's 24 person to care about. So that is challenging, but I like it. It's really nice.
Did you like the master class at VTC Academy?
Actually, yeah. When I came first, I was a bit stressed, honestly, because when I built that masterclass, I didn't know the level of the students. So is the masterclass is too easy for them? They will know everything that I will talk about, or not at all, or that's going to be too complicated? Is it enough of content? So that was stressing me a little. But after I've started the speech, because the first day is almost me speaking, so that's a bit stressful, I would say. And it's not stressful to talk, it's stressful to know, are they interested? So quickly I saw that they were, so that was a good point to have their attention. We've made some exercise, some workshops where we had the chance to share more with individually with students, and it's where I think it's the more tiring part, but it's the funniest part, more interesting as well, because you talk with a person, so you don't talk to a group, so you don't feel alone. You have a human contact, and it's our direction, so it's like human thing. It's like feeling. So when you talk with people, eyes to eyes. They explain your idea, you share with them. It's much more interesting. So those part was, and the exchange with them showed me that a lot of people have very nice thinking in that way. So naturally, I don't know all classes that you have here, but I felt that they have a base strong enough to be able to do that exercise, and I felt that I was also important for them because they were having the base, but sometimes some thinking was missing. So exchanging and improving that ideas with them was very nice moment.
Thank you so much for your sharing today. It's very fantastic. And once again, thank you for coming to us. And it will be our pleasure to welcome you back to Vietnam, and we can spend more time together, especially with the VTC Academy students.
Thank you. It was my pleasure, and I really hope I can come back here to see you guys.
So thank you and
goodbye.